Hey guys, it's Maddie and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to discuss 7 lessons that I learned once I stopped trying to fix myself and once I let go of the idea that I'm a project that constantly needs to be worked on. A while ago, the topic of toxic positivity was pretty big, and I think that there can also be like some toxic self-improvement where you go above and beyond and make that your whole personality and the sole thing that you focus on. So let's get right into the 7 things I learned. The first and most important thing I think is that you are not broken and you are not something that needs to be fixed or to be repaired. You are human and you are experiencing life for the very first time, and that includes all of the highs, the lows, the ups, the downs, and everything in between. And when you are constantly focusing on trying to fix yourself, you are robbing yourself of all of the unique experiences that are like set out for you and that you are going to meet. You're going to experience challenges, and that's not something you can fix yourself out of. Like, it's inevitable, it's going to happen, and everyone experiences it, and it's human nature. I think a lot of people experience the feeling of being broken and that you, to your core, you are a broken individual, and it's just not true. No one is perfect, no one is born broken, no one becomes broken. You're just human. Like, this, I'm also talking to myself very heavily in this whole video, but you are just human and there is nothing wrong with you, with your experience, and just accepting yourself as a person who has unique traits and characteristics will hopefully kind of steer you away from the idea that you are broken. The second lesson is learning to let it go. Just letting go of the negative self-talk, letting go of the idea of fixing myself, and just moving on with things and not dwelling on the past too heavily. You can never go back in time and switch things and change events that happened as much as you want to. You're not going to be able to. So just looking at those situations where you think you need to fix yourself, just look at them neutrally and take a lesson out of it and learn it and move on and apply it the next time that something similar comes up. But don't dwell on it. Don't replay the situation in your head over and over thinking what you could have done differently, because you can't go back and do that. Just be mindful of what happened and try to take that advice you would give yourself into the future. Number 3 is that you are setting yourself up for failure no matter what when you think that you constantly need to be fixed, because in that mindset you are striving for perfection and you will never be perfect. No one will ever be perfect. And so when you don't meet that super high standard that you're setting yourself for achieving once you fix yourself, it's only going to solidify the fact that you are broken, because no matter what you do, you're never going to reach that bar. So when you ultimately stumble and fail, you are just proving to yourself over and over again that you are broken, that there is something wrong with you that needs to be fixed, and that, see, I am a loser, I am a failure because I didn't achieve this super unrealistic bar that I've set for myself. Number 4 is that nothing is permanent. Life is always changing. That is the one guarantee in life, is that things are always changing. And when you fix something, it's usually only a temporary repair. So when you're fixing this current version of yourself, you are restricting yourself from growing and changing and evolving with your life experiences, because you are solely focusing on the present current you and fixing that version. That future you can't grow into that future person of yourself. You will inevitably learn more, experience more, take on more, and change in life. And when you want to fix yourself, you are holding yourself back from that. You are standing in your own way of growing and getting outside of your comfort zone and taking on new opportunities. And in the end, it will actually be more work to hold on to that fixed version of you than it will be to like kind of flow and ebb through life. Number 5 is stop expecting everyone to like you, because when you are in that people pleaser mindset, you are going to fix yourself and change yourself into a version that those other people want. And if you are going to do that for every single person you meet, you are going to lose who you actually are at your core and at your true identity, because you're constantly going to be changing and altering yourself to fit these other people's perspectives of you. And if you're doing that, it's going to be confusing and exhausting and draining, because you are constantly worried about how other people view you and who they want you to be, instead of just accepting you for who you are and showing up and being like, whatever, this is me, this is who I am, take it or leave it. And I know that is so much easier said than done, because I can sometimes even fall into this trap still. And also just accepting, and I know you've probably heard this time and time again, but it's not personal. It really doesn't have anything to do with you. It's just all people's preferences. Like, I prefer coffee over tea, but I'm not going to sit here and shit talk tea and be like, oh, I hate tea, it's disgusting, all this, that, and the next thing. It's like, I just prefer coffee. And some people will prefer you and other people won't. Number 6 is a bit of a reality check, and that is when fixing and hyperfixating on yourself becomes your only hobby and you don't branch outside of yourself, and becomes a little bit narcissistic because you think everything is a direct reflection at you and that you are the problem in every situation, when 9 times out of 10 that is not the case. I can guarantee you. It can consume every single waking hour of your day trying to fix yourself and trying to comb through past events and situations where you might have messed up, or where you think you could have been better, or preparing yourself for the next time that you encounter a similar situation or circumstance. And focusing on that will take away so much joy from your life, because you're not allowing yourself to experience new hobbies and to try out new things. Like, for example, reading, knitting, going for walks, exercising. When you are just solely focused on yourself, you kind of have blinders on to the outside world and to what is actually going on in your surroundings. And fixing yourself might feel like you're doing some deep self-work, and I'm not trying to take away from that, but allow yourself to enjoy life and to enjoy the things that are around you and that are available to you. You are allowed to enjoy life. You are not broken enough where you need to isolate and just sit in your own self-pity. You are allowed to reach out and to take the focus off of yourself and put it onto something else, which leads into point 7, and that is focus on the things that you're good at. And side note, it won't be everything, and it might not be a majority of the things that you try you're good at. You might kind of suck at some stuff, but that's okay. Find the things you're good at and really dive deep into that, and surround yourself with all of that positive thoughts. Because when you find something you're good at, it's going to add some reassurance to you that, see, you're not broken in all areas of life, that you do have good qualities about you, and there are things that you can do well. But if you're only focusing on what you need to fix about yourself, you're not going to allow yourself to be proud of your accomplishments and to be proud of yourself and be proud of all the things that you've done and that you've done well. You're only going to focus on the bad things, and those are going to magnify in your life, and the good things are going to diminish because you're not focusing on them. It can also increase your confidence, because if you do one thing really well, then that will allow you to branch out into other areas and to try new things, because you have that confidence and that security of one thing that you're really good at. So then now that can transfer, can bleed into other areas of your life, and it can boost your mood. And if you strengthen the areas that you're good at, then the others are going to seem less important, because you're not looking for that validation in the other things, because you are secure in a couple areas of your life, and that's all that matters. Those are the 7 lessons I learned, and I just wanted to add a couple notes here at the end. One thing that I've noticed with myself when I was on my big self-improvement journey is that I was always striving for the next thing, not being very present and in the moment and content with where I'm at now. I was always thinking about, what's the next thing I can do? What's the next thing I need to work on? Where is my next fault going to be? And looking for that to improve on, instead of being in the present moment and being having self-awareness and being proud of where I'm at now. And that also kind of relates to my thinking of being, once I have this next thing, once I achieve this next thing, then I'll be good enough, then I'll be worthy, then I'll be valued. Always looking at the future and putting a lot of pressure on future objects, whether that be physical or even like mental states. And lastly, there is no end goal that is to be met. This is a journey, and this is a lifelong thing that you might battle with. And I don't want to take away or discredit like self-improvement. I think that's very important, and to have like self-awareness and to realize that, yeah, there are some things that you need to work on. No one is perfect, but it doesn't need to take over your whole life, and you don't need to be constantly stuck in the mental space of being, I am broken, I need to be fixed, I need to constantly spend every hour finding areas of my life where I need to improve on. Anyways, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and just be easy on yourself. It is a challenge, it's a struggle, and it's not going to be easy, but you can do it, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!